We continue to cover this breaking news tonight about the National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster, and apparently other White House officials airing serious national security concerns about Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, who was just stripped of his access to highly classified information. We're joined now by somebody who understands these things, if anyone does, because she's been there. Nicole Wallace, former White House Communications Director for President George W. Bush. She now hosts Deadline White House right here on MSNBC, which is the single smartest show on cable news right now. Hi, Nicole. How are you?
You just said that. Now you threw me. I forgot everything I just learned.
Okay, good. Let me ask you a couple of White House protocol questions. So in the Washington Post tonight, Shane Harris is the lead story, is the lead reporter. This strikes me as a big scoop among big scoops.
Yeah.
One of the things he says is that McMaster was taken aback to learn that Jared Kushner was taking meetings with foreign officials without coordinating them through the National Security Council and without officially reporting that he was taking those meetings. Now, that's, having worked in the White House, that's weird, right?
It's beyond weird. I mean, and we'll find out through the Mueller probe if crimes were committed through that conduct. It's also been on the radar of the intelligence community since the earliest days of the transition. I mean, before there was a transition, I think the Times of the Post broke the story about the back channel he tried to set up with Russia. So he's been having interactions with foreign governments that at best were inappropriate and unprecedented, and at worst may have involved criminal actions.
Now we've got, in last month from the New Yorker, Evan Osnos and Adam Entis had that incredible piece about China, right? Where the thing that leapt out of that piece was that people familiar with U.S. intelligence intercepts said that Chinese officials discussed meetings that happened between Jared Kushner and the Chinese ambassador, at which Jared Kushner reportedly brought up his own personal business interests alongside U.S. policy interests. Now, Kushner has denied this, but that's a serious allegation. We've now got other U.S. intelligence intercepts described in the Washington Post tonight, where 4 different countries are describing what makes Jared Kushner vulnerable to manipulation, including his personal financial difficulties, his business interests, and his pursuit of foreign investors for his family's business interests while he's been associated with the Trump campaign and the administration. Here's my question. Why is it so dangerous for a senior U.S. official to be mixing his own personal business interests and financial needs with government policy?
So it's not about what you think it was about. The FBI background check isn't about the FBI looking at your answers on a form, going into the field to vet them out, and deciding if you have the sufficient character or leadership skills to be a White House aide. That's to the White House staff to decide. They go out with a single purpose. The reason for your FBI field investigation, the reason that they go out and check the answers you give on the SF-86, which is the initial form or the more advanced one, is to see if you are a potential target for blackmail. Jared Kushner, as of today, has not proven that he is not a potential target for blackmail.
And you're a target for blackmail if you've done anything that you would take great measures to assure didn't become public or wasn't made known to your home government or to law enforcement. Anything that you've done that you're either embarrassed by or would get in trouble about that you're concealing is potentially something that would make you vulnerable to blackmail and manipulation by a foreign government.
That's right. And as with the Russia investigation, we talk about these things as though they're all in the past and we're in the process of now unpacking it. There's no evidence that Jared Kushner's actions that prevented him from getting a clearance. And you have to keep in mind, we only know that he couldn't get a clearance. I mean, NBC News broke the story, but we only got access to this information about the myriad of people with interim clearances because of the Rob Porter scandal. So because of the audacity of the White House to leave an accused wife-beater in a position where he was handling incredibly sensitive classified information, he would have been the person, whether the president read it or not, putting the PDB on his desk. That's how we learned of the numbers of people that were on interim status.
Yeah.
But in the case of Jared Kushner, all the reporting tonight bears out that not only had it been something that he couldn't achieve, it might have been something that he would never achieve. So what I heard tonight from sources is that Jared's sort of deliberations about do I stay or do I go? And I agree with your list of 3 people. It is not sustainable for H.R. McMaster, John Kelly, and Jared Kushner
to all work in the same place together now.
It is not a stretch to describe it as a snake pit. That's what it is. But that this move today was a consolidation of power by John Kelly. He has reached out to Corey Lewandowski, a powerful and influential outside advisor. He's done some consolidating of power and influence. To
get Lewandowski on his side in this fight?
To get Lewandowski to have his back, because Lewandowski remains very close to Jared and Ivanka. This was an undeniable. They can spin it however they want. I know they sent a senior administration official out tonight to say Jared's a good boy. He does lots of work. I'm sure you heard the president say over and over again he doesn't make any money here. Not a good talking point. We know how that's worked out for others that didn't make any money on the campaign. But the problem that Jared has now is that his wife has got a portfolio that she enjoys. There's no natural, graceful exit. I don't know. I share your theory that H.R. McMaster may not be where he is for a while. But this is a very public power struggle made public by their own hubris and their own incompetence. But now we all know, thanks to the incredible reporting in the Post and the Times, that not only was he operating without a clearance, but that he probably never would have gotten one.
Yeah. And this is McMaster and Kelly taking a stand and basically saying, we're drawing a line. There's a national security reason why that kid's got to go.
Well, it's McMaster and Kelly saying there's a national security reason why he can't, where he has to take this downgrading clearance. I have not heard that they said he had to leave the White House. But I think having been publicly embarrassed in this regard,
getting your clearance stripped and your access to information stripped.
And as you've said, the reporting in the New Yorker is not an anomaly. I mean, he flew over and met with the Saudi leaders, and that wasn't on the list. I mean, it is a known unknown, the kinds of ways that he's mixed foreign policy discussions with his own sort of people could just say, in their experience at doing this, he is not. How's your family business? Tell us about your family's industry. It's as easy as that to mix the work of a policy advisor and the work of someone.
And then you've got something you can use against him and then say, okay, show us some of this classified information you've got.
And because those conversations are ongoing, how do you ever clear him? How do you ever stamp cleared?
Nicole Wallace, White House Communications Director for President George W. Bush, and person who has been transformed by the experience of covering the Trump administration.
Transformed. People like you miss my old boss. That's some aspect of it.
You're wrong.
Well, it was normal. It was normal lines of debate.
We're going to fight about this over a drink. All right, we have a little mini scoop tonight still coming up. A scooplet, a scoop mini.